folks, how's it going? So, I have been watching a little bit of funk spread around my local area, and I'm like, not today, Satan. I feel it. I know it's been going around. I've been watching people. It's kind of like an upper respiratory, gunky, lots of phlegm, and then last week my son came down to visit from Spokane, and he was like, oh yeah, I've got a nasty cold. I'm like, thanks. Thanks, kid. Love you. Love seeing you. And so I'm going to go ahead and make one of my favorite remedies for anything in the lung that wants to be like productive or feels stuck. You've got a bunch of gunk in there that you want out. And I'm going to start working on it now, and I'll probably freeze some too. So this is so easy. You just need an onion, thyme. Fresh is great, but if you just have dried thyme, that's fine. That rhymed. Dried thyme is fine, and so did that rhymed. And some honey. And this is going to, well, some water, a pot, and you know, various cooking utensils. But it's so easy. You're just going to take your onion. I'm not really worried about peeling it, and any onion will do. You could have one big fat yellow one, you could have some white ones left over, you could have some yellow or some red ones you need to use up. You could probably use shallots just fine. You might be able to use leeks and stuff. They have a lot of the same compounds, but they're not quite as strong. This onion is medicine. It really is. People think about this as food, but there are huge amounts of sulfur-based compounds in here that are very antibacterial, slightly antiviral as well, and they're pretty good at getting gunk out of us. So I'm just going to give this big fat onion a chop. You know, in half is probably fine, but it's big enough I'm going to quarter it. I'm not worried about the skin. It's not, you know, dirty or any mold or anything like that all over it. So I'm going to put it right in there, and it'll probably, you know, give the broth some color in general. Now I'm going to take my thyme, and I'm going to give it a little chop. Now, if you don't have fresh thyme, or you don't want to pop down to the store to buy a little clamshell of fresh thyme, and you have dried thyme, the only difference is when you add it, right? So because I'm using fresh thyme, I'm going to need to simmer it. That way that the volatile oils can be broken down out of the fresh plant matter, because plants have really rigid cellular structures, and that's why you have to cook them to get softer. That's why, like, a carrot goes soft after you've cooked it, because you've broken down the cellular structure. So same thing. So if you're using dried plant matter, like dried thyme, it has already been broken down pretty much by the drying act. And so you want to put it in at like the last 10-15 minutes, not the whole thing. So now I'm going to fill up this pot. I'm going to add some salt. Let's add some salt. I don't know, maybe a little under half a tablespoon salt, just, you know, to pull out some of the flavors and stuff. This is just broth. This just seems like broth. But let me tell you, thyme and onion together, and then at the end we're going to add some honey, will pull nastiness out of your chest. So now let's put some water in this and get it simmering. See you in a second. This is maybe, I don't know, 5-6 cups of water max. You could double this, you could make it smaller amounts. This is cooking, folks. You don't have to like be insanely precise about it. Essentially, this is onions, thyme, water, and salt in a pot, and I'm gonna simmer it until it's about, you know, halfway gone. Maybe a little not so much as halfway, but I'm gonna give it a good simmer, and then we will jabber about why this is so impactful, why the thyme is helpful, and what steps we can do next, and even a bonus tip if you're real sick. It's been about half an hour or so. It's just a slow, I'm not boiling it to death, you know, just kind of a slow simmer. Sometimes I've turned it a little up, a little down. These are pretty meaty onions, so they're still holding their shape, but we're not trying to cook it into a paste. That's about, I don't know, it's probably about halfway cooked down. Once I take off or take out the inner bits, so let's strain it now. Grabbing it off the stove. Okay, so now I'm just going to strain it. spilled quarter cup. No, I just spilled that much actually. So you got a couple different directions to go here. Once you've simmered it down and gotten your onion facial. Ultimately, this is broth. It's really tasty as is. If you threw some mushrooms and like an old beef roast bone into this, it would make delicious gravy, right? Just because, you know, thyme goes really well with beef. But right now, we are going to use this to break open your lungs, and not in like a scary way. I mean, like if you've got nasty like phlegm or it just feels impacted, you've kind of had a cough that's not productive, and your other options are to start using it as is, to add honey. I really recommend adding honey if you're using this as an expectorant, and that means something that loosens up the gunk, that helps you cough it out, not something that's going to force you to cough, right? People think that about expectorants because when you buy like a over-the-counter something expectorant, it does have something that actually makes you cough, and so you think that's expectorant, but it's more about like the thing in there that broke it up, and then they give you a chemical to make you cough. But if you're already coughing, you don't need that. You just need something that's going to break it up, and the thyme in this is going to do that. Thyme is loaded with all sorts of polyphenols and different VOCs and things like that that are really fantastic for just opening up the lungs in particular. They also have a lot of ability to really stimulate your immune functions. They have the ability to push back against fever, a little bit of a mild diuretic as well. So you can add honey to this, and you can wait till it cools down if you want to. I'm not afraid of putting honey into some warm liquid. And so I just do a touch. You don't need like a ton of honey in this, right? You can do more if you need it. If you're trying to get your kids to use it and they're younger, but old enough to have honey, adding the honey is really helpful there. And it actually goes really, really well with the flavor profile. This isn't going to be something that you have to choke down. It is actually a really tasty broth. Now, you could get creative, and I probably got distracted a second ago. You can do two more things here. So this is ready as is. You can let it cool down. You can freeze it. You can store it for later. You can just, it's a sipping broth, basically, right? But let's say you also have a sore throat. It could be from coughing. It could be, you know, bacterial, viral, whatever. Or you could just have a sore throat and use this as well. You're going to take some gelatin, like real gelatin, not a box of Jell-O, and you're going to bloom it, which is where you put like a tablespoon of gelatin powder into like 1/4 cup of water and let it soak up. Then you're going to add that to this, and you're going to stir it, and you're going to drink it warm. It will solidify in your fridge into Jell-O. However, if you warm it up, it'll go back to a liquid again, right? Just like bone broth would. And that gelatin will do two things. It will coat your throat to help with the sore throat, but it will also coat your throat and hold the medicinal properties of the onion, as well as the thyme and the soothing honey on your throat. Right? It's also, you know, a nice little protein boost when you're sick isn't bad. Now, the next thing we can do to get creative here is turn this into a broth base for a nourishing herbal infusion. So if you're real sick, if you are coughing like a seal and there's gunk coming out of every orifice on your face, and you really want to make sure this doesn't turn into like pneumonia, you're dealing with bronchitis, this is your next step. So you're going to need a jar that you can dump this into, and a scale so you can weigh out, and some mullen. You don't have to do this stuff if you don't want to, but I saw how not great my son felt, and I heard them talk about, I've heard people talk about how they've been being sick, and I'm like, I'm just going to make this ahead of time. I'm going to sip some of it too, but I'm going to make it, and I'm going to freeze it in portions and those little soup keeper things that I can just turn it into, you know, frozen instant tea basically I don't have to think about it if I get sick, right? So I'm going to put 1 ounce of dried mullen leaf. It needs to be dried mullen leaf into this 1/2 gallon jar here. Usually you do 1 ounce per quart, but I'm not really that worried about it, and I usually just use 1 ounce for this because I've got other herbs at play here as well, right? So there's 1 ounce, and you want to use a scale when you weigh herbs because it'll never weigh the same, it'll never be the same twice. They're just different fluffiness, different how it was cut up, different everything, right? So, I forgot a lid, so I'm going to have to grab one in a second. You know what? I am aware of my pouring skills. So I'm going to go ahead and put a towel down and see if maybe that'll just make me a liar. And I broke the lip of this last week, and I'm just not going to let go. Maybe it made it easier to pour. So I'm just going to pour this hot liquid, and you need to do this while your broth is still boiling. I'm just going to pour that right over the top of my mullen. And it's not enough to fill the the 1/2 gallon jar. You could use a smaller jar, but I like having the space to know I'm not going to overfill it and I can fit it all in there. So now I'm going to give this a stir. Pretend like I put a cap on it. Oh, you know what? I think I know where one's at. Usually they're in the other thing. I saw my husband get one out of there. I said, "You've been putting lids there?" And he's like, "Yeah." Well, one on you, husband. You put a lid there and I can use it. And so I'm just going to give it a stir until it soaks in, right? We want it to all kind of be submerged. Mullen's a little fluffy. It'll resist you for a second. But if you give it a good enough stir, it'll start absorbing it, right? Okay. Now we're going to do one of 2 options. You're going to let this sit for until it cools down, put it in the fridge, and strain it tomorrow. But if you're pretty sick and you need some care now, let this sit for at least an hour before you strain it. It won't be as strong as a nourishing herbal infusion will be because we're letting that heat as it cools down and the water pull out the medicinal properties of the plant into the water, and that takes time. But it's not like there's nothing within an hour. Right, if you want to get something in you can consider making 2 batches, one that you can drink right away and one that you can put in your fridge overnight, right? And then obviously if you take this route, you need to strain it really well after this because mullen has microscopic fiberglass-like hairs on her, which will make you cough more. Some people could say that you could use it as a natural expectorant that way, but I don't think it's good for your body. It's not good for your gut. But what's really ironic is once she's strained, mullen is really amazing for lung function, lung health, getting your oxygen levels up, getting that gunk to break down so you can cough it out, or just calming down a spasmodic cough. So sometimes when you cough, there's 2 reasons. You either got gunk in your lungs that your body's trying to expel, or something in the bacteria or the virus is attacking your nerves in the area, and so it's spasmodic. So you have a little muscle twitch that makes you cough, right? There's nothing to actually come out. It's just a dry cough. But the really cool thing about mullen in particular, if you choose to do this next step that's totally optional that I showed you, is she's got anti-spasmodic abilities too, meaning she'll calm down that nerve twitch and help the cough. So she can help if you need to cough stuff out, or she can help if you're just kind of coughing and there's nothing there, it's just from irritation and spasmodic little muscles in your throat. So that was super easy, even if you chose to do the next step of making it into a nourishing herbal infusion with mullen. We literally just made onion broth. Tell me that you can't make onion broth. Now, if you wanted to use dried thyme, you're like, I have onions and I have dried thyme, I'm not going to the store. That's fine. Just add your thyme, probably about 2 tablespoons worth. If it's powder, I'd cut back to 1 tablespoon because there's going to be more per at the last 10 minutes of simmering, and that'll be plenty, right? Fresh thyme would be used in the beginning, dry thyme would be used in the end. But you're just making broth, and this broth will help you. It will help you get that gunk out. It'll help you feel better. It'll be cozy. You don't have to add the honey if you don't want to. It's just something that we've always done since I was a kid, right? It just kind of helps soothe and open the whole area up. So that is onion thyme broth for me trying to fight off what I kind of feel the tickle. Right, and so I just kind of want to, you know, make it supportive while I have the energy to make it supportive. I may or may not come down fully with the cold. We don't know. But I was like, I'm just gonna get that ready now. So what I'll do is I'll strain this, and then I have like those, like, you know, those like soup saver trays. But you could freeze it in anything, or if you're not gonna use it right away and you want to just like have something prepared, save it in those little big glorified ice cube trays, basically, and then pop out. Save them in a Ziploc bag or whatever you want to use, and then you can just put one in a cup and a little bit of hot water, and it'll melt it, and you have like something instant when you don't feel well. People think a lot about food prep. They don't think a lot about herbal medicine prep and beyond like tinctures or something that's made like that. They don't think about what they can use that's food-based and put in their fridge. And remember, if it's food-based, you're more likely to use it on a consistent basis because it's food. It's not something that's going out of your way. It's something tasty, right? Just the way the human brain works. So if you like my random videos, if you appreciate what I do, if you like me being a real human and bouncing around and all that type of stuff, consider becoming a member. It's just a way to throw me less than $1 a month. It helps keep onion in a jar. You know, it helps me make broth, keep a roof over my head. You do get early access to videos as I'm able to upload them early. You do get, when I'm doing them, you do get like live members only Q&A type things. You know, there's a ton there to rewatch now. If you can't do that, don't even worry about it. You can also check out my books. I have a lot of books, and they're pretty affordable, right? And that supports my direct ability to exist and teach freely and all that stuff, and you'll see them linked as like a linked product down below. Check them out, or you can find the pinned link in the comment section. If you can't do any of that, I get it. Times are tough. That's okay. Just make sure and do me a favor and like, subscribe, do that hype thing. That's a new thing I gotta ask people. Like, subscribe, hype, turn notification, and share. As always, sharing is so important because it helps other people realize that they're smart enough to do this too. Everybody's smart enough to make onion broth. Just the truth. But sharing helps get my work out there. It tells the algorithm that I'm a pretty cool person, and it helps other people learn. So thanks so much for watching, folks, and I'll see you next time. Bye.